type something in the chat. Type a 1 if you can hear the audio okay. Let me know. Like 3 people. I might be setting the phone down because I am driving right now. I don't want to be holding it. But as soon as a few more people get in here, I'll share this like little dream shift that I had a couple days ago. And be open to... Oh, there it goes. Oh, right on. Thank you. Right on. Thanks for letting me know about the audio. So, if I like set it down like right here, can you still hear me? Let me know, because that might be better to get like a little flow. So I'm not trying to like hold it. There's not really anywhere to put it. I don't have like a thing. Right on. Alright, so logistics wise, so I can let more people get in, I'm currently on my way to the first, like the opening tournament for the disc golf professional tour. I'm not technically playing in the pro tour, at least not this year, but I am playing in a professional division, which is the they call it open professional division, open 40, excuse me. I usually play in open, but since I'm 39 this year, I can play in the 40-year-old division, and it's professional division. So yep, I'm on my way there to Vegas. It's the first opening tour, and this will be the first time I'm playing this. Shout out to everybody that has donated to the GoFundMe that helps me get to sponsor some of these tournaments to where I can get into them, and also have some kind of like priority in signing up, but also get to share some information, because like the last tournament I just played in just this past weekend, or yeah, it's Monday now, so yeah, I played on Saturday. I didn't win it. I was 1 stroke off of first place. I was winning pretty much the whole tournament after this first round, because the first round I was down by 2, and I caught up and started winning. But it was just a smaller tournament. But that tournament, I got to sponsor one of the holes with the sign to help free all political prisoners, with the picture of Mumia as an example of a political prisoner that has been in prison for, I think it's since like the 80s now, so 30, 40 years now, something like that, going on. But that, if you haven't seen that sign, or that sign to sponsor the tees, I put it in my community post. I'll share another image soon. The picture I took with the sign. So shout out to everybody who helped with that. It really does help to share information about this channel, and specifically what this channel shares, especially with all the censorship that's going on, because it's hard enough for people to even find videos of mine, and even the channel, even when you type in the whole name of this channel. So shout out to people who are sharing this information. I really appreciate that. Sharing the channel and helping out with the donations. That's what I want to first off put out there with this live. I haven't done a live in a while, mostly because I kind of like the flow along with the editing now, of having like a particular concept in mind. But I figured, since I let you guys know that I was going to do a live, that I got some time now. I'm on the road. It's like 7-hour drive or 7.5-hour drive, but kind of like topic based stuff in a second. Stalling to see how many people are going to get in. If you have some questions, I can't promise that I'll be able to answer or get into any depth on the questions. Some of the stuff like overall, there's a lot of perspectives that I really just not really interested in expanding upon. But I'll check them out if you leave them in the chat. And I wish this thing had like the chat just stay up there, but I'm gonna click on it. Let's see. So while you guys are thinking up questions and more people get in here, I'll share this dream that how I've shared. I started talking about the dreams. So how I shared in previous videos is that you have ability if you start engaging and become more aware in the dream space. Like, for example, a good example is that if you become aware in the dream space and you also become aware of being able to hold the dream space, then you can become lucid in the dream space. And those are two separate things, because there's an awareness, yeah, but in order to maintain the time in that space, because the awareness is your focus. So you're bringing, in a sense, like a conscious awareness into a linear perspective, into a non-linear realm. And when you bring a linear perspective, which is your focus, your awareness in that dream, you make the chaotic space. Fear makes you wake up in a dream. Like kids who have a dream, it's a good example. It's very linear, it's very focused. You kind of like people's dreams as kids. So in the waking space, emotions overall, but fear is the big one that is used. So I lost my train of thought. So I was going from, okay, so the awareness in the dream. When you become aware, you're bringing in a focus, but there's a way to maintain that focus and maintain the dream. So how I see it is that you have to kind of like play within the dream. You have a party or something in a dream, and there's a lot of people that are talking to you. There's people that are engaging. You're doing something. Let's say you're in a dream at a party and you're talking and you're putting together something. You're doing something. Well, when you're doing that, if you start to become lucid in that space, you have to keep doing what you're doing. But that little bit of lucidity has to be like sitting in the back seat, while the driver is the dream itself, in order to maintain the dream. So you have to have little blips, like in and out blips of lucidity, in order to maintain lucidity in an extended dream. So this happened the other day. So that's one shift. So that's what I was saying. That's one shift in being able to expand your abilities through awareness in dreams. And there's all kinds of different ways that you could do this. I've done that through that shift. The first shift is to break the emotional control over you. So in your waking space, you have to first become aware that you're not subjected to your emotions. So that's the first phase. Because if you become subjected to your emotions are linear, and your linear emotions will break the dream. So you won't be able to go far in dreams. The next space is to, like I said, become aware of the space and become aware of yourself in that space, and hold a balance. So when you get these shifts in this dream space, you start to get like abilities. Like I said, you get an ability to stay in the dream is an ability. And when you have a longer space, do other things. So if you want to fly, you can fly for longer. If you want to communicate, you can communicate more with like people, or, and this is what I was going to get into with this video, people or entities within in the dream. So remind me if I lose my train of thought. That's what I want to get into in the chat. Remind me that entities in dreams in comparison to the waking space. So flying is one ability. Holding the space, communicating. When you start communicating with, like for example, when I started communicating with beings in the dreams, I was able to break the dream characters. And if you're breaking the dream characters, you're breaking the dream realm, and you can, in a sense, like because it's an illusion. Your dream is an illusion, and like this space, bringing it up now, but I have to tell the dream first. Get back. I work my way back to it. So your focus, you're like bringing yourself into your dreams are like your realm. It's not entirely, it's a conglomerate of realms, but there's also like a focus. There's like in the space of your dream, you are or at least you have the potential, if you don't become subjected to all kinds of bullshit, you are the hierarchical peak of that realm, your dream space. This is why you can break dreams. This is why you have potentials beyond the perceived limitations in the waking space. This is why you can fly. This is why you can stop dreams. You are the hierarchical peak in that realm. Still on. Yeah, let me check the chat real quick. Alright. I'll get to those questions in a second. I gotta get this flow out though. So maintaining the realization in the difference between that and here is another way to achieve like more abilities, but also it changes you, it expands you in your dream space and in your waking space. This is what I've noticed recently, more so in this last dream. This hierarchy of intelligence, consciousness, for lack of a better word. Some people realize that there's whatever the God of this, see how we perceive, how we can understand hierarchical intelligences, like the differences between consciousness, we call God. And then you have gods. The Egyptian, they were all kind of Egypt, they were all kinds of different kinds of gods to understand. Okay. Sorry it keeps going out. I'll just keep going on with it. Whatever's there is there. If not, oh well. I'm just gonna keep going. So hopefully I'll catch up where it was. What I was saying is that in order to understand and even furthermore experience ourselves and the experience overall, we use this term God to explain or be able to touch, feel a difference between consciousnesses. So the commercialization of that is to create some ridiculous ass religion and then say, oh well, God said this, so now you become, whoever is the person saying that God said this is placing themselves as kind of like spiritual royalty. They become part of that godly expression. So like money becomes godly in a sense because it connects to your, I don't want to really get into all this right now, because it connects to your livelihood, your realm, your experience, your ability to communicate, share, love, emotions, all that shit. This is why money is such a big deal. But the breakthrough that I had recently, in this dream, this was the first time that, I'm sure it happened before, but I didn't remember it as much as I did now. And it didn't have as deep as a effect on me as it did recently, like now. But my name was actually called in a dream. Like this dream character, entity, whatever you want to call it, actually spoke my name. And so I'll just tell the dream. So I was, just before I became lucid, just in a space, and I started to sense like this really fucked up type of energy. And it was kind of like a really dark, controlling, fucked up energy. And that shit doesn't mess with me anymore in dreams. So I was like, whatever. And it happened again. It happened twice. It was like this thing that happened to where it was very tangible. But I didn't think anything of it because I wasn't like super lucid. But I was coming into lucidity. So shift out of that space, I'm in this like liquor store with a group of people, and we're just like looking for candy or food or whatever it is. We're just kind of hanging out. It's very kind of like old school, kind of like child time frame. But I'm not a child. But it feels like that kind of time frame. So it was an anchor point. There's a lot of anchor points that I could, like, you can smell a liquor store. There's a good. Now I'm getting into like how you can become lucid in a dream, through the awareness of the dream. So like if you're in like a liquor store, taps into deep lucid anchor points, because like I grew up in Oakland, First East Oakland, and went to high school in West Oakland, and we're surrounded by liquor stores. So you're always going to the store to get candy, soda, shit you're not supposed to be eating, and you didn't have any money. Like you're eating your dinner comes from the liquor store. So like I will go to the liquor store to get like a little 3 pieces of salami from the deli for like 50 cents, and then like some hot fries and a soda. So that's $2.50. That's less than $3. I got some food, a drink, and a meat, and that was dinner. So anyway, that's a smell. Like, so you can smell the deli, you can smell the atmosphere. It feels a certain way, especially with smells too. And the memory and smells are big. So if you're trying to anchor yourself in dreams or become more lucid, smells are a big key. Like anytime I'm playing disc golf, there are these bushes of bay leaf that I always pick the broken leaves, and I smell them in that moment. I anchor myself in that moment to create an anchor point in the waking space, but also kind of like how people switch on and off the lights to create anchor points in dreams. That's another way to do it. A heavier way to do it is to engage your olfactory gland. So because it taps deeper into your memory banks. So bay leaf, when you scrunch it up and smell it, it's heavy duty. So I'm creating a relationship. I'm also creating an anchor in time, and that helps you to be able to have deeper reference points when you're becoming lucid in dreams. It's a side note. So I'm in that liquor store, becoming even more lucid very quickly because it's not a familiar one, and the specifics of the dream were just kind of off, so I was becoming lucid quickly. I'm with these people, and I get to a point of awareness in the dream to where I start communicating with the characters after I become aware of the dream, and I say to them, I was like, there's usually music playing in these stores. It's usually some kind of sound. It's too like dead sounding right now. And that's when I broke the characters, and they just kind of wandered off. They didn't communicate, they didn't say anything. And it was kind of weird because they felt like they were more alive. Like this whole dream itself felt more tangible than usual. So they walked away, and I started looking at the specifics of the candy, like anchoring myself deeper in that space. Peace, everybody. Thank you for the support. So yeah. So another thing to become lucid in the space is to focus. Like if you see, like for example, in this dream, a pack of M&Ms. Look closely, start to read, like pick it up and look at the ingredients and stuff, and you'll see that everything is off. And when you focus on the details, you'll see that some things are off. And when you realize that the things are off, then you can, you're creating more anchors in that space. So anyway, this is what I was doing. Before I started to move anywhere, the candy went from like the regular size to like a Rite Aid size, like a slightly bigger, medium size, bigger than normal. And then it went to like share with your family size. Then there was like the biggest size, the biggest bag of damn M&Ms you can find. So yeah, I was like, that's hella weird too, because they don't have that in liquor stores. So as soon as I mentioned the music too, the people that worked there started glitching. So that angered me even further. Okay, so I get to a comfortable, lucid base in that space, and I leave because I'm by myself, and I go into the other part, which turns into like, it was like a liquor store area, then it goes into like a grocery store or a bigger part of the liquor store area, and there's this group of people talking to one guy. There's a leader of the group talking to one guy. He's got like 4 or 5 people around him, to this one guy. And I hear what they're talking about, and the leader is talking to this one person about entities in the dream controlling the space, but he wasn't talking about a dream. He was talking about like the city. He was like, there's some fucking entities that are controlling this city, and we need to come together and do something about it, because we can't. Like, it's fucked up. And like, people were following that dude because he knew how to address these entities. Because if it was just like people, they wouldn't have a problem. Like, they could do that by themselves. And I got this whole sense from that group, from just walking by. And so he's telling them, yeah, like these things are controlled. They're fucking up the area. They've already done this over here specifically. They've done that over there. And that triggered me into an earlier part of my dream, to where I was aware that there was some dark shit going on. And I remember specifically what happened, what I saw. Like, I was in some area where there's some big ass rocks, and there was like some things hiding behind those rocks. And I was like, I know you're fucking back there. Like, I know, like, you can't hide. Like, I can feel you. And this is what I was becoming lucid in a dream. So I was directly addressing these entities in that space. Another part was, I was walking down the street, and I saw something like fly, like some angry, like some big ass monster or something just picked up something and just like fucking threw it. And I was like, that wasn't some normal shit. That was like some angry entity shit. So those were the 2 dreams that I had before going in, like appearing in that realm of the liquor store. Also crossing thresholds in dreams, like going in and out of doors. This is another way to become aware, because usually in the dream to become lucid, because usually when you go through a door, you're going through another, you're going to another place. You're going to appear somewhere else. So thresholds are another thing. So anyway, I'm getting ready to walk into another realm in this lucid space because I'm leaving the liquor store. I'm becoming aware of that. So I'm like heavy duty lucid in this space. So as I'm walking by this group of people and overhearing this leader, like I'm energetically like communicating with what's going on. Kind of like when you walk by and you're like smiling because you agree with whatever somebody's talking about. So you're communicating in that smile, or you give like a little head nod or something. That's how we communicate. Like you're letting them know like you're with them, or you get what they're talking about, whatever it is. So I'm walking by smiling, I'm shaking my head, and as I'm walking by and smiling and shaking my head, I interrupt the leader talking to this guy because he's like trying to convince him that this shit's going on and you should help out. I kind of like yell over the group in a little quiet moment. Shit, what did I say? It was something to the extent of, I hear what you're saying, I know what you're talking about, and when we have time, that's what it was, when we have time, I want to talk more with you about that. And this leader looked over at me and he said something to the extent of like, anytime, Leano, we're gonna get into it, like I want to talk to you. That's what he said. He said, I want to talk to you, Leano, about this, because this is something like we have to get into. And he said my name and I was like, what the fuck? Like it like threw me into this lucid space that I haven't been before. Alive. They're not responding like that, and they're not like, to respond that way is not only responding in general, but it's also an intelligent response. And you feel intelligent responses in your waking space. Like you can feel when somebody gets you, and you can feel the aliveness. That's what it is. So I felt the aliveness of that character in that dream, and it kind of shook me for a second, not in a bad way, but in a good way, like a tangible space of realizing, damn, like I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know I could communicate. It's like finding another alive person in a dream. Like, what the fuck? Like, how is this even possible? So this was before I walked out. So he said that, and I walked out of the door, and I'm still in this lucid space, but I'm back in to where I saw that thing fly, that big, whatever it was, that shit fly, and I knew I was in the same area. I knew I was like, so I knew I was around the entities that he was talking about. I knew I was around like that dark shit, and I was like, this shit ain't gonna fuck with me. I know what I'm about. I know what's up. I can hold my own. And if there's anything like that, then I'll deal with it my way. Like, I know I'm in a dream. Like, I can fuck some shit up in this space, especially. So that was my like feeling. That was my core when I walked out. So I had like a focus. So I get out, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what are we going to talk about? Like, what is he going to tell me that I don't already know about dealing with these dark entities in this city? It was the dream. But I was thinking, like, eventually, like, I got to a point when I got out there, I was like, I'm still in a dream, though. So there's this city, but there's also the dream space, and there's these deep, dark fucking entities in the dream space. because it is, like I said, you are the consciousness, like you are the hierarchical peak of the dream space, but the dream space isn't limited to your perspective and your engagement. This is why you can communicate with other people, beings, entities, whatever, in that space. It's more fluid there. Similar to here, like, this is controlled space. This physical reality is a controlled space to some degree. But there's hella other entities and beings and shit just like being able to go in and out within this space. I'm glad I remember that too. Because I'm going to get into like dimensions. Like I said, God and dimensions, being these words that we use to interpret things that we can't conceive. Like you can't conceive or like a fifth dimensional whatever in a third dimensional consciousness. Like you have to be at that space before you can even like interpret it or experience it after the interpretation. So anyway, I get out of that threshold, out of that door, and I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm gonna do it on my own, and I'll link up with dude and his group later to, I would say, in meditation, just naturally is that I behind some fucked up shit, and in that meditative space, I'm letting these entities know I'm aware of this. I'm aware of your trickster magic. I'm aware of this energy, this focus. I want to allow it from the best of my ability. Not trying to like save any world or anything, but if I'm going to, like, you want to become a better person or anything, if I'm going to, for an individual, how does that exist in like a bigger space? So if I'm going to affect anything, I'm going to hit it with this hard-tative space. I do that kind of frequently. I'll go in, like one time, a good example is that I was having some deep anchors in like connection with myself, kind of like when you're in the zone. That's a good example. When you're in the zone, I was in like this spiritual zone, for lack of a better word, while I was walking through UC Berkeley. And actually, coincidentally, that zone was when I was walking through UC Berkeley. That was the last time I did a live stream, so that's fucking funny. So yeah, that zone. So yeah, I was riding on this high from the zone and communicating with more than, because this is live, so anybody in the world can tune into this. It doesn't matter, like the potential is there for any being to tune into something, to the world. So you're like speaking to the world, so you have the potential to do that. So why would you like waste it on bullshit or anything? So anyway, like taking it deep, like deep, that's where I was going. And I was communicating in that live stream like the lies and the bullshit of the entire intellectual system from that one side, which is UC Berkeley. And UC Berkeley was just like, they had the timeline on the wall, and I was like, man, this is fucking lies. Look, they got the picture of the shell mounds here. The indigenous storyline is right here. You just have to look at it. And I was interpreting it to, you know, people who were just like walking around, people that were in the administrative building, but also to myself, and also to people who are tuning in live, but also to potentially the energetic potential, like putting out the antenna is there to every receiver of this experience who's subjected to that intelligence that is working in so many different ways against them, with the intention behind that. My intention of like having the good intention of being able to do something about this trickster magic that's going on. So, leaving that live stream in that moment, I went out and found like a good grassy area, and I was just sitting there, but that wasn't enough for my body I had to ground myself, basically. So I laid down and with my chest on the ground. So people who've heard of like earthing or whatever, your whole body is also, connected to a space to do that. So I had my chest on the ground, and in that space I got into like a meditative, I was already in the zone, but I got into a meditative focus. And just as I was communicating on that live stream for people who are here, I'm gonna get into the chat in a second, but like I said, I have to get this flow going, because this was, damn, that was a rock. Luckily it didn't break anything. So, like I said, I'm gonna get into the chat after this flow. So, if you got questions or whatever, put them in there, and I'll go through them and do my best. We've already been going for 45 minutes, so kind of hoarse. But anyway, so I'm grounding myself. I'm in the zone. I'm getting ready. Like, I feel this need to communicate to the entities I was addressing behind the intelligence of UC Berkeley and all the universities in this realm that have used information like the heliocentric model and the evolution theory and the Big Bang and all that other bullshit. I was gonna speak directly to those entities who are using that magic to control the masses. And when you do that, when you focus and when you narrow it down, that's some heavy duty shit. That's why I do what I do on this channel, is because if hella other people were doing that, then there'd be a lot more things that would be moving to have like a focus. Anyway, so I was, with all of the energy and focus that I have, I was doing that in that moment, and I felt like this reverberation in my chest into the ground. So that's what I do just in meditation. I also do that in dreams. In this dream in particular, and hopefully still like streaming, in this dream in particular, I started to do that, and I was in the zone too. So I was able to communicate with whatever intelligence, whatever it is, and a deeper part of myself. That's another thing that you're doing. You're communicating with a deeper part of yourself when you're doing this. So you're kind of like, if we can see ourselves as pieces of our higher self moving around, and there's more than you just moving around. This is one piece. This physical body is just one piece. So anyway, it's fucking holding it in that space for like 45 minutes is a bitch. So, so in this dream, back to this dream. Keep my train of thought. I got to the zone and the space of communicating to these entities that leader was talking about existing in this space. Like I said, I was already in like this deep, lucid foundation and had the ability to go hard. So I went hard. And I was like walking down the middle of this street, and I was like, fuck this. Like, if there's some shit going on, let's handle it right now. Don't hide. Don't Don't be fucking with people who don't know what's going on in dreams and reality. And I could feel the like the releasing, like shit running away, because you're bringing a focus on there. And it's not, looking at it now, it's not only shit running away in the dream space or the realm, but it's also you releasing shit. And it might be one and the same, like your releasing of it by communicating and facing it, like facing a demon or facing whatever in a dream allows you to go deep and hard into a dream. This is another version of that. So point is, I've done this before, so it's not like something new. But like I said, in this depth of lucidity, oh man, it's so much better. Whew. So I'm feeling myself in this dream. I'm like, oh hell yeah! Like I could, if there was anything around here, I could fuck some shit up. So I keep going. I'm walking each step that I'm taking. And that's another thing with dreams. Time has a closer relationship with space and movement, because your focus is changing as you're moving through the dream. And as you're moving through the dream time is like going along with it. So that's all kinds of different linear things going on. Observable is with your awareness. So that's like the nuts and bolts of the math of becoming lucid in a dream. So anyway, I'm walking through this space. It's kind of like nighttime. Feels almost like sunset or the morning into like early morning where the sun's starting to come up. Which is funny now thinking back. Before, like the instance, this is definitely what it is. The dreams that I had when I was aware of that dark shit, before I ran into the group that was in the liquor store talking about dark shit, that was nighttime. When I got into the liquor store, there was no time, because you're in a space, you're inside, there's no time in there. When I left that space, it was the morning time. So you can go into whatever, sun going down and then the sun coming up. You can, like, I'm gonna break this down a lot later on for myself, but people who know about dreams and all kinds of shit like that, you can see for yourself what that means. So, morning time, walking down the street, pretty much like flexing. Imagine like flexing, like in the Matrix when Neo like fucked everybody up after like blocking those bullets, and then he like sat there and flexed, and like the whole world like flexed with his muscles around him. This is exactly what that feeling was. It was that like I could feel the zero separation between my body and the dream realm. And when you flex like that, you also, your senses go up. So because you're moving not only your body, but you're moving the dream. So when you're moving your body and the realm or the dream, anything that's hiding in the illusion of yourself and the illusion of the realm becomes exposed. And I felt that, and I saw that, and I saw whatever the fuck was there. I was like, oh, there you motherfuckers, like seeing something that was hiding. Like, oh, there you go. I see you. You're like breaking shit. So I was breaking the fuck out of shit, like, because it's like these entities are going to push you as hard as you allow them to, and you allow them to in your ignorance. In the dream space, your allowance is your lack of ability to become aware of the dream in your space, to become lucid in the space. So your lack of awareness is like a percentage, and the entities who live in Percentageville outside of your space will push as close to you as they can through what you'll allow them to. So if you allow 60%, because you only have 60% of awareness, 60% of lucidity, these entities will push 59.999%. They will get all up in your shit, because that is life. They live in that 39.999% that you allow them to. And this is how it exists in the entire realm. This is where these entities, this is how they can be alive. This is how they can be living dead, because they're living in your empty space. This is why ignorance is such a big deal. This is why ignorance is such a big weapon. This is why connecting with your ancestors is such a big threat. And connecting with how your ancestors perceive this realm is such a big threat. Because connecting with your ancestors is a deeper part of another part of connecting with yourself. Connecting with breaking the heliocentric illusions is a deeper part of connecting with the realm. So it's just like in your dream space. You do that, you become a threat, because the specifics of that threat is the percentage of your, for an example, it's not like clear cut like that, but it's a good example. The percentage of who and what you are compared to the ignorance of who and what you are is higher. You become more vibrant in a sense. And that vibrance is a threat. So, I'm like in a groove and I'm like fucking pushing on the gas and shit. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going too fast. I need to get off on cruise control. So anyway, cruise, get the fuck out of the way. So anyway, oh yeah, so flexing in that space gave me, what I just broke down for you, gave me a more tangible interpretation of what that is. It became real because I was able to feel what that is. And I was like, oh shit, this is another one of those shifts, those dream shifts. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I'm unlocking it. And it all came from just having the awareness, first of all, but the intention to do something about what was going on. And then the intelligence behind that, the driving force behind that, is what allowed me to go deeper, go harder than that, because that allowed me to focus on specifically what was being brought to my attention by that person talking in that dream space. So yeah, that was basically it. Being able to unlock that space through the awareness. Like all like cotton mouth now from speaking, just in that flow. So anyway, that awareness changed me again. It gave me another boost. And this only happened a couple of days ago, so I'm only just now like being able to interpret it. And it's good that I got into this live flow now, because I won't be able to like get into my normal production uploading thing, because I got a couple videos in the mix already, but I won't be back there for like a week. So this is a good, maybe I'll do another live some some other time or on the way back. But yeah, so it changed me. And it's kind of like starting another book. You can feel it. You finished one book when you start a new book. But this newness is fresh. And it fits right in with what I've been talking about in this whole entire channel. So I just needed to share that tangibility with people so they can know, for the dreamers that are out there. There's a lot of people who watch this channel for like dream interpretations and stuff. And talking about dreams is like one of my favorite, if not my favorite thing, because like I said in my earliest videos, the most views on this channel is that even when Flat Earth was out and when it was big, I was still like, nah, fuck this, man. Like, we still haven't even gone into dreams. When you're going into dreams, you're going into yourself. When you're going into yourself, you're going into how you relate with and even perceive realms. What do you use to experience the non-heliocentric universe? Like, that's way fucking deeper than the flat earth and models and all that shit. It's not to say that it doesn't matter. It's never to discredit and downplay it. It's only to say, like, if I'm gonna do something on this channel and as a person, man, I'm gonna go hard on that. I'm gonna go into how you perceive the realm. In a previous video about language. Language is not, it's a tool. And it's been a tool for suppression more than anything else. So like, hopefully Santos, somebody can clip this out. Santos Bonacci was talking about and like share it with him. And he's subscribed to this channel, so I doubt he's watching it though. But if he is, or if somebody is that's in connection with him, I'd like him to go into a little more detail about what he meant by English being the language of the gods or the language of angels or some shit. Like, with all due respect to his work and everything, love the work. The breakdowns, great. Connection with Flat Earth, awesome. But the language itself, to put that shit on that kind of pedestal, angelic, nah, I can't deal with that. It doesn't sit anywhere comfortable with me, especially English. Like, English, come on now. This was said in like a live stream on another channel, so if you're looking where he said this, it was like a recent one too, like within the last 2 weeks maybe. So please, I would like that to be expanded upon, Santos, if you can, because it is not this language itself is a linear form of existence, period. But somebody just walking on the freeway. But the way it's been weaponized, specifically English, the way it's been weaponized, in no way does it feel like it came from angels at all, or at least not any kind of like well-intentioned angels. And on top of that, how I've shared in previous videos, the use, like the colonizing of your mind, the colonizing of consciousness, and the muddying down, the watering down of reality itself with religions, with Western intellect, Western so-called civilization, and specifically with the English language. How just like white bread it is. Like it's very, like I said, you can live off of it. You can explain some deep shit. Like, oh, look at all the stuff that Santos breaks down. Wonderful work. Very poetic. Very spot on. But it maxes out as at that. At best, it's linguistic poetry, not his word, the language itself. And like I said before, that kind of poetry, any kind of art, could be used as a weapon. English has been used more as a weapon than anything else. If you're saying anything other than that, please expand upon what you mean by that. Because the spreading of, how I see the spreading of English is the downplaying and the destroying of culture around the world. Look how many different languages that were spoken just in the Bay Area. Each group in the Bay Area, hundreds, had their own language. Like, how is having one Wonder Bread ass language like English a benefit, especially in comparison to hundreds of other groups of people having their own form and still being able to communicate with each other? It's not a benefit. It doesn't sit well with anything. So I see it more as a virus, a parasite, a limitation, more than anything else. Like I said, you can see the poetry, you can see the ability to break things down, to see things. I understand that. Won't do it. And something needs to be, if that's being said, something needs to be expanded upon that. So anyway, I just needed to get that out because I said it real quickly, like I glazed over it in one video, but I wanted to expand upon that, to get that, let that be known, and hopefully get a response from Santos or even other people, if you're a content creator, whatever, please. But I said specifically Santos because the one who kind of put it on a pedestal, he's the one specifically who put the English language up there like that. So anyway, I think I pretty much got the dream stuff. Okay, so I did talk about the way we perceive differences in consciousness by calling it God. The I don't want to say non-linear, but the bigger than the individual version of that is what they call dimensions. So to perceive dimensions, switching the big part of the shift. If I stay on that freeway, I'm going the wrong way. So 58. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's just another thing. I'm gonna get into breaking this down more cleanly when I get to my regular setup. But I wanted to do this live. People have been asking for a live. It's the perfect time. And I had a subject. I guess I lost connection. So what I was saying is that since I'm going to expand upon that on a later date, the dream stuff and everything else, the dimensions, God, what we call God and all that stuff, I will go into the questions part now, and I'll start from the top. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put the phone down because I got to stretch my arm. So during this time, oh shit. If you have any questions and if you like share this with people who might have questions or whatever right now, I'm probably gonna stay on. I got my little charger connected. I got, you guys are keeping me company. I'm keeping a little flow, and it's working out. So let me start from the top. And bear with me. I would not recommend this. Do not follow this example in any way. The live streaming in hand and reading chat is not, kids don't do it. And I click that button where it says not for kids anyway, so oh well. Don't drive do this. So good morning. Thank you for the support, everybody. Thanks for the ones in here. What's good? Right on, Ace. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you for saying that and the support. Like, people who've been here for a while, they know like the shit that I've been through. Like this channel and the people who support on this channel, like have helped me through a lot. Like I've been through a lot of shit. I've lost people. I've been into some spaces that were not. Actually, I'm gonna probably have to end this kind of soon because I'm gonna start getting into the mountains. I'm just realizing, and I might lose connection. So let me hurry up and get into at least seeing. I'm gonna try and burn through this. I only got like maybe 10-15 minutes before we hit the mountains, and I'll probably just let it run out on its own. Dreams and reality are merging more intensely lately. Yes, I'm feeling the same way. Me, Seminole, yeah, same shit. This is why I'm focusing so hard on dreams too. Thinking about this, a lot of people are not remembering their dreams because, and this is nothing against smoking cannabis or anything. Do what you do. I don't think anything's negative about it, other than the way it's been weaponized. Itself, itself is not a bad thing. I don't necessarily think burning it is the way to go. Also, like I think there's something off with the burning of cannabis. So that in particular, it changes the molecular structure in the relationship to a degree that isn't maxed out. So if you're like defending smoking weed and all that other shit because whatever, expanding, okay, but I don't think it becomes more of a limitation than anything else. Specifically, which is why I started talking about this, specifically when it inhibits your dreams. And I started bringing this up on this channel years ago, and it's been, the verdict, it's come in, like it's way more people saying that it affects your dreams in a negative fashion, not like bad dreams, but in a sense that it inhibits you from recalling them and tapping into them, and it creates this fuzziness, which is similar to what I've been breaking down for a while. And if that's the case, it's keeping you away from a deeper part of you, a deeper part of your your reality, your ability to tune in, dial in, communicate. And if that's the case, then it can be weaponized. It has been weaponized, and there's nothing, I mean, else that can be said in reference to that. So, yeah, like I said, if I could, like I said, I developed an allergy to it. If I could smoke weed, I might, but I'd probably only do it. You know, I can't even like say I would do that anymore, because I don't like what it does to my relationship with my dreams. I just can't do it. So I just won't. But anyway, that needed to be said too. So I'm going to, okay, so if you left a comment in here, because I don't want to have to go into I can't recall the live stream shit, but if you left this comment on here when this live stream closes, because I'm getting close to the mountains, when the live stream closes, leave your question that you commented in the live chat in the comments on this video, and then I'll go through the comments and recall them there. But because I don't want to miss them. So, I'm trying to get this dude to pass me. Too many things going on at once right now. Trying to drive, trying to live stream, trying to read comments and shit. They keeps popping off. Slow ass drivers, fast ass drivers. Alright. Get into cruise control, that's it. Alright. Back at it. Right use of Wheel Series? No, I haven't. I'll check it out. A New World. I don't know what that means. I guess it's a topic to speak of. A new world. It's just kind of like a new, like, enlightenment. A new world feels like the word enlightenment or awaken, whatever the hell that means. It feels just kind of black. Like the face I'm making, that's what it feels like. It holds on to too much shit. Like a new world, enlightenment. You have to hold on to shit. Like a lot of the shit that people were talking about being enlightened and awakened and all that shit. A lot of it, most of it is about letting go of stuff. So when you're holding on to something like enlightenment, you're actually showing how heavy it is and counterproductive that is to whatever you're even trying to share. So the new world is just like, it's basically, it's in reference to the new world itself, or enlightenment. You're holding on to time, and time is a little crumb, and it becomes more of a inhibitor to expanding your perspective and being able to heal and do all kinds of shit and anything else. So anything that's like that is really not worth going in hard or holding on to. Forever 420. What's up? Peace and power. MJ. Raina. Thank you for the support. I appreciate comments. Riz. Candles that are 3 feet or 3 pounds. Alright. Maybe expand upon what that is, what that means to you in a comment Government is Slavery. Mark Passio. Geocentric, yeah. I got a video on Mark Passio too, and his outburst on Flat Earth, calling it like bullshit or whatever. So I don't know. I've listened to some of his work in the past. I didn't see anything wrong with, for the most part. But his outburst on Flat Earth was kind of like, what's up with that? So that's what I gotta say about Mark. Brownson, salute. Alright, getting to like an open space, which is good. That's a lot of years, a lot of weed. Okay. Peace Secure, what's up? And one, what's up? We gotta hook up, we gotta link up. Yeah, I guess in reference to cannabis, if anything, don't burn it, eat it. But like I said before, I don't even think it's a tool. Ultimately, it's a tool. You don't need it. And if you let go of these tools, you become lighter. You have more capabilities. And that's as simple as I can put it. These tools become weight after a while, and they start to weigh you down. I stopped smoking. It's been over 2 years. Switched to edibles. True. Yep. Cannabis definitely dimmed my dreams. Thanks for sharing that. And one, more people need to share that, go into that relationship. But like I said, people can't let that shit go. And they don't want to talk about, I'm getting into these hills, so I'm probably going to lose you in a second. But I would appreciate if people go into it. I'm just gonna go as much as I can until it starts getting like, I start losing signal, and then I'll just cut it off. So if it ends abruptly, I'll say like, thank you to everybody. I'll try to go live again, possibly on this trip. Yeah, appreciate it across the board. Normalize and legalize, yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on the road. Can't afford to be open spiritually to everything at the moment. Be careful when grounding. Be connected to the unequals of the correct barriers. Yeah, barriers. Detachment is key. Soul sucking is a very bad invitation to the dark side. Yeah, there's a lot of dark shit out there. This is only for people who are like dialed in to getting on there. Because it has to say something in reference to that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Seattle girl, appreciate support. Yeah, like I said, I'm getting to the hills right now, so might be losing some people. Thank you, Seattle girl. I will do my best to stay safe. Hour and 24. Wow. Yeah, so I guess I'll close it out. People are starting to. So thanks again. I appreciate the support. If you would like to support even more so, like clicked it on this video because I started this live while I was driving. And thank you, Patricia. The GoFundMe account is, for people who don't know, it's to help out with sponsoring teas of something to a tea. And I've been putting like references to free all political information, linking to different teachers, different information official that is really on this channel. So the networking of Alright, I'll see you on the next live. I'm pretty sure I'll do another one. Thank you for the support. Like I said, leave your comments in the comment section here. Share this. Check out the GoFundMe. Support there. It's linked on my other videos in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. How do you end this shit?